All right, this is James Pelton, and I am here with Carolina Keith. Happy to have him back. He is very requested that I have him back. So I had him. It's probably been about a month ago, but we had him on for just some basic TA lessons, and I think people really enjoy that. That's not something that I do. So what I like to do is I have my strengths, but then for my things that I'm not good at, I like to just bring on other people that's their wheelhouse, and then you can just get this rounded skill set of all these different tools that you can use. And so TA is not for me. It's not like only follow TA, but it's one of the tools that I use as I'm trying to make decisions for, hey, what do I get into? What do I get out of? And Keith has been really helpful in just teaching me. I know nothing about TA. What I know is pretty much from what I've seen on Keith's stuff. So that's pretty much to the extent that I know. So happy to have him back. Keith, I know you're feeling a little COVID-y today, so thanks for joining us. Could you start out a quick introduction, just if people don't know you, and then we'll kind of get into today's lesson?
Yep. What's up, everybody? I'm Keith. Some people call me Carolina Keith. I've been doing that since 2018. Just because there was 3 Keiths in the same chat, and I thought it'd be cool if I just put where I was from in the first part of it, so it would be confusion. I started teaching TA quite a while back. It's just gotten really big lately. So someone called me the professor one day. I'm not a real professor. I don't have a college degree. I barely passed high school. Okay, barely made it past high school. I'm a walking miracle, and I don't even know how I got here exactly. I'm just grateful that I am. But TA is all I do. I apologize for my voice. It's a little wishy-washy, and I'm going to cough a bit here and there. Um, but yeah, TA is all I do. Just something I've learned over the years is people are extremely untrustworthy, especially those in charge. Um, More often than not, it's just about money for them, but a lot of people get this emotional attachment to what they're doing, and it becomes more than the money for the people who are invested. Where the people who are in charge, they're still all about the money in the background. You know, they're just a really, really good salesman. Um, yeah, but doesn't really matter what chart it is. I strategically and specifically look at the chart alone. I only want to see what it's about to do. I'm using the chart in multiple different directions. I'm trying to figure out how far down it may retrace and how far back up it may go afterwards. We've been pretty accurate, not perfect. No one is perfect. And if anyone tells you they are, they're just after your money. Um, we have a Discord we run, 786 Assassins. James can throw the link up there if you'd like. It's free to come in. Yes, it is paid if you want the full thing. We do charts nonstop, 24/7, 365. We also have node stuff and bot stuff and uh, anything else you can think of crypto related, but we really try to focus on the technicals. That's kind of the way the world works. We just don't really hear much about that. Most people think that it's all people driven, and it's really not. It's 90% bots. We don't even have control. We really, really don't. It's a thing that I've learned over the years. It took me a while to adapt to. It really did. Um, we also have a list over there, whether this upsets people or not. Okay, we have a list over there of known scams or potential scams. I know it upsets people, but it's about 98% accurate. Some things that some people own here may be invested in or own there. Please don't get angry with me. It's just me trying to help you understand that those people you're giving money to may not be the ones you want to do. That being said, it's not, I get it. It's not for everybody. I understand that. The more you do TA and the more you're around it, the more you'll understand that this stuff drives everything you do, from the amount of times you drive under a stoplight to the amount of times you eat during the day, your height weight ratio, your body fat, your body mass index, whatever it is. And it's all based on technicals. And I know that sounds insane, but if you go to your doctor and you ask him to give you a body mass index evaluation, he's going to look at a chart over several years and say, well, yeah, you've gone this direction, and oh, that's a chart. So your body has trended up toward fatness or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Technicals know no bounds. It really doesn't. The street lights that you drive under are programmed on technical analysis. That it's hard for people to grasp that at first, but once you do, you start to understand that nothing is out of the wash.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I don't think people realize how data driven everything in the world is. It's all data, which is why the blockchain has purpose, is because the
Mhm.
blockchain is just a better way of storing data. And one thing I really like about you is the fact that when I bring you on, everyone complains to me and I can't figure out quite why. And it's just because you're honest. You speak your mind, even if it's not popular. You don't mince your words. And so the more people complain when I have you on, the more I want to have you on. So maybe that's a rebel in me. But yeah,
Well, I
appreciate you coming
understand.
on.
I
Yeah.
understand. I get it. I get not everyone likes me. I understand that. I come off as rude or arrogant, and I promise you, it's not really that way. If you knew me in person, for the guys who have met me in person, you know I'm a very giving, very happy-go-lucky person. It's the internet kind of ruins that. The internet kind of ruins that and takes away who you may think someone is. I'm just a regular guy. I'm nobody special. I'm you. I'm just on the East Coast. I'm not
Yeah.
anybody special. You know what I mean? I come from nothing. I come from nowhere. I started at the very, very bottom with $25. Like anyone can do what I do. They really can. It should be inspirational. I know it's hard to understand that, but it should be inspirational because anybody can do what I do. I took $25 and I turned it into what I am now. If that's me doing that, oh my gosh, imagine what someone with a college degree can do or more capital to use. Man, that unlocks so many doors.
Yeah, very cool. And well, and I love too that you're about educating people. You wouldn't feel if you had somebody come into your Discord and they did better than you, you'd be thrilled about that. You wouldn't be like, "Oh, how dare you?" You'd be like, "Oh man, I empowered somebody. That's awesome." And that's what I'm about too. And so I think we're kindred spirits in that.
Yeah, we've actually had several people who've come into the Discord who did TA as well. And they hung out for a while and they grasped what knowledge they could and they've gone. We had people who knew nothing and they've taken the knowledge and they've gone off and done their other thing. And I'm not mad about that at all. So some people would get angry about that. And the way I look at that is you've created a tree. You've created branches off of your tree trunk, and other people are doing what you knew and taken what they've learned combined with what they already knew and created something completely different. And while some people may get frustrated with that or be angry with that, I encourage our admins all the time in the Discord. If it comes to this one day and we get big enough, because we're growing, I mean, we're to 3,500 people in the Discord, we're growing. The more people who come in, the more people who are going to want to talk to specific people. It's getting more and more difficult to me to talk to everyone. Obviously, you know that it gets difficult to answer every question, right? So there's going to come a time when all the admins want to do their own thing, and I will be more than happy to point them up and give them all the props. I mean, really, it takes a team. It really does. It's not just all me. We have a group of core guys. Those guys learned from me and some other people, and they've taken that, and here we are. And we're hoping everyone can take this education and roll with it, basically.
That's awesome. Well, hey, a couple housekeeping items I forgot to mention. First off, this company Crescent sent me a mug. And I just want to let you know if you send me swag with your company's name on it, whether it be a shirt or a hat or a mug, I will use it and you will get on video. So I appreciate that, Crescent. And also, I forgot to say if you're watching, please hit the like button. That's like YouTuber 101. And I forgot it. But yeah, hit the like button. If you have things that you would like to ask Keith or coins you want him to look at, please ask. And the plan for today is I asked him to take a look at Constellation DAG, and he might have kind of a different viewpoint on it than I am because he's doing chart and I'm doing more, news and things like that. And so I wanted to hear his opinion. And then he has a couple projects at the end that we'll talk about as well. But let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what you have to say about Constellation and what you see on the chart there.
All right. So I don't know if anyone can see it, but I've got the chart pulled up here for DAG. We've been watching DAG for quite a while. We've been watching this since mid 2020. Someone way back then brought it up. Well, he's one of the guys that have gone off and done their own thing now. He's actually from Slovenia. It was hard for him to get on our timeline, you know what I mean? Because we're in the US, he's in Slovenia. So he's actually learned and gone off and done his own thing. I think he has a couple of these Constellation amount worth of nodes, because I don't believe they actually have nodes running yet. So once they do, he'll have a couple. He bought it very, very early, obviously. But much like everything else in 2021, the tide rose and brought all ships, excuse me, brought all ships up with it. DAG was one of those. As it went along, it was actually a little bit of a front runner. It went a little before others, and it kind of tapered out a little bit before others as well. But that's okay. It just kind of signals that there are some assets that move before others do. All the time I get this question, well, why don't you just look at Bitcoin and Ethereum and just do those? And that's great. But that's not the only assets. And everyone thinks everything always moves with Bitcoin or Ethereum. And that's just not quite the case. Bitcoin may move 3% and an altcoin may move 37%. Bitcoin may move 4% and an altcoin moves 2%, right? So there's variations in movements. And while everything may move together, just like the S&P 500, everything may move together. All these assets are independent. What's up, little guy in the background? That's all.
He asked if he could stay in for the video, and I said, as long as you stay off camera and stay quiet. So
too
he
late.
broke rule number 1.
So I've got kids too, so I fully get it. Got 2 little boys. So back in 2021 early, we started an uptrend. It was really sharp at first, and this is what we went over last stream, was identifying quick trends, right? You had one trend up. A much larger trend that continued to go was after we had a retrace in May. After retrace in May, it continued to go farther. And that trend rode all the way up until November, when pretty much everything turned. Back in October, we all met in Vegas and talked about this, how we thought the market was coming to an end here. And we kind of felt like, I believe the vernacular we used was, we've got all the milk we can out of this cow. I believe it's time to slow down here. And everyone agreed. We talked about it. We hung out, had some drinks and played some roulette. And then we stopped and said, you know what? We come back. We've got to start talking about getting profits and walking away. And DAG was no exception. The trend ran up. Eventually, the trend failed. Immediately, we start to identify the trend like we did on last stream, only now our uptrend has started to fail, so we can identify higher highs and higher lows rapidly. We had a high and a low and a lower high, and you could get super tight here and say this was a lower high and this was a lower low. Not necessarily needed. You can clearly see that there's a downtrend starting, and it just continued from there over and over and over again. You had a short time higher low here, but then another lower high and another lower high, and all this is pointing down. This is a weekly chart, so all this to me signals no thank you. All the way up until we started getting higher highs right in here. All right, let's remove some of this. And TradingView recently updated, so I can't just hit back and make these go away. So annoying.
Oh, yeah, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. On
you have a
these
good
updates,
thing.
right?
You have a good thing, and then you mess with it. What are you doing? I get it. You want to innovate. You remember when Facebook back in the day, because some of you kids don't remember Facebook. Some of you, Facebook back in the day had a certain app, and then everyone changed. Oh my God, it was a nuclear meltdown when they changed format on Facebook, right? And they went and changed it back for a couple of weeks until they tinkered with it and got it right again. I remember that. So anyway, we had a downtrend. We use our wicks for downtrend. We can draw a trend line. We can kind of look at this and say that pretty much catches every wick. We could maybe draw it a little lower. I don't know if that's totally necessary, but either way, we have not broken this white line yet. Furthermore, if we go a little farther, we had an even sharper drop. People often ask me, well, how do you know this kind of stuff's coming? What's a great question, but we were already out of this beforehand. So if you're already out of it, doesn't matter that it continued to fall. In fact, that's a good thing, because you're already out of it. You're waiting for a better chance to buy. When you get that better chance to buy, you will take it. I tell everybody this all the time. If you have days or weeks where something drops 60 or 70%, I'm not saying buy that. I'm saying watch very closely, because that's probably not going to continue to hold water, especially if there was no particular reason for said item to drop that far. Let's take Tesla. Did Tesla do anything wrong to lose 60% of their share stock price? No. They sold more cars than they can handle. Has Apple done anything wrong? Why did their stock lose 60% of the share price? They didn't do anything wrong. They made money, made a ton of money. This is all keynotes to let you know this thing's going to return back. They didn't do anything wrong. There's no reason for the price to fall like this. This is just trend 101. Obviously, there are things like Evergrande. that had a clear-cut reason why they failed. You take a bunch of loans out on crap, and then you don't pay it off, and you lose stock price, right? Yeah, I get it. That's the reason those went down. But DAG didn't do anything wrong. It's just part of the tide coming back out after it rose way up. We had a hard, sharp capitulation here. You can clearly see another trend line right in here. You don't ever have to be hyper accurate with any of this stuff, folks. Just get close. Like I said last time, close is good enough. We don't have to be rocket surgeons. It's not necessary. And that's all on a weekly. Now that we've moved along a bit, we can see that we have another little mini uptrend here. We're still holding on to it right now. We've had 3 weeks of red, and I understand that. However, 3 weeks of red isn't awful. Trend is still running up. This gives us a chance to look at some other indicators and see what overall things look like. We notice we have an uptrend. Obviously, people have been jumping on the DAG train. A lot of these other node protocols started to fail or never were about to begin with. And what everyone did was, once they realized that a lot of them failed and a lot of them were never real, they went looking for ones that were real. Okay. And Constellation has no reason to believe that they're not. They have a subsidiary contract with a branch of a company that works with the military. It's not really a military contract. It's a branch of a subsidiary, which is okay. That's better than most have. Presearch, Gala, Flux, these are real nodes, and they're a pain in the butt to set up sometimes, okay? And that's how you know they're real. when they're a pain to set up. Either way, we have a little short uptrend here, and it started the three candle retrace, which is a pretty standard formation. Let's look at some other technical analysis indicators to help us see some stuff. I always start with the 821 EMA like I did last stream. As you see, the 8 is under the 21. No bueno. I want that 8 over the 21. I want the green over the purple to signify to me that she's ready to rock. This one tells me, not quite ready on the weekly time frame. Obviously, when we look at the monthly, it's going to look worse than that. The green is almost about to pinch down and cross over on the month. Hadn't even crossed yet. DAG and a few others are going to be some of the few who haven't had a monthly downward 821 EMA cross. And if you want an example of that, here's XLM. It crossed back here in March. Here's XRP. It crossed back in May. Here's AVAX. Still hasn't crossed, one of the few. FTM crossed downward last month. Okay. DAG's in a little bit better position than some of these because of that. That's just the first indicator. A weekly, back to our weekly chart here. Let's dig a little deeper. So 821 EMA would be my first signal to say, all right, hey, this looks pretty darn good. Let's rock. Looking at our MACD. For people who don't know what the MACD is, that stands for moving average convergence divergence. If you don't know what convergence and divergence is the Grand Canyon. When 2 points move apart and you get a void, aka a canyon. A convergent boundary would be Los Angeles, the San Andreas Fault. It's 2 boundaries smashing together. All right. And that's called convergence. Moving average convergence divergence is the blue and orange line here. One is the MACD line. One is the trigger line. All right. There are 2 slow moving averages. One's a little slower than the other. When the blue crosses up through the orange, bueno. When the orange crosses downward through the blue, no bueno. Obviously, red on the histogram here in dark red means more selling than the period before. Obviously, pink means less selling than the period before, but still more selling than buying. You've seen a change here. Even in the last 3 weeks, the chart turned red. Still got 3 green histogram marks here on the MACD. So it's not in an awful position, okay? If you had a falling volume here and you had 3 red candles, well, that'd be a little worse for the wary. Now, there is a midline here on the MACD. That's that little dashed line that you see here. When you get both of these moving averages over that, that's more bullish than bearish. Since we don't have that, this is more bearish than bullish. Okay, until that switches, then we don't really have anything to scream and yell to our parents about. That's the MACD. RSI, Relative Strength Index. Okay, RSI. 2 important points, the 40 line and the 50 line. You'd like to be over the 40 and over the 50. In between them tends to be range. What do I mean by range? This is what I mean by range. A whole bunch of nothing. I don't want anyone to get stuck in that, because what can happen is once you put money in and you get stuck in a range, It takes forever to get your money back. What if something better comes along and you want to get in on that? You can't because you're stuck in the mud and something else. Okay. This happens all the time to people. They want to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum, but they're stuck in Flux or Atom or CRV, or they want to buy XRP, but oh man, I'm stuck in Cardano. I'm down 20%. I can't set right. I don't want to see this happen to people. So we're stuck in range here until this breaks over the 50 barrier here. It's not hyper ready to rock. We're still kind of ranging. What I like to call Paul Wall. You're in the Midwest. That's called sitting sideways. All right. Paul Wall has a song called Sitting Sideways. What do you think that means? It means we ain't going nowhere fast. All right.
Could I ask you a question?
Sure.
Could you explain the MACD? Like what I understand what indicators you're looking for. Could you explain what it actually is? Like what is the data that it is showing?
All right. Let me click on a little button here so we can see. All right. So essentially, MACD is two moving averages. You have a fast average and a slow average, like the 8 and 21 EMA, only this is 12 and 26. And they're EMA, not EMA. That meaning moving average, not exponential moving average. All right. There's other formula built into it, like signal smoothing and stuff like that. All is a bit hyper technical and not necessary to understand. You can kind of make it more simplistic by simply looking at what you've got. Another part of the MACD that I didn't mention is when you have large amounts of convergence or large amounts of divergence, you should play that. When you see that the blue and the orange are very far apart, you must understand that that doesn't typically happen. And when that does happen, they are likely to move back together rapidly. That's exactly what happened here. Vice versa, when they're very close together, they get balled up like this. They don't stay balled up very long. You see right here, they kind of balled up and dance together. That doesn't happen very long. And immediately they started to diverge or move apart in a downward fashion on this one. You're looking for these little breaks. You see that you kind of have an average amount of divergence right now, and that's fine. You would actually prefer if this divergence continued and you had a blue come up and you had an orange come up and they stayed similar, right? You want that. You want them to stay similar. Quite often, that isn't what happens. MACD will show you that things are getting a little running hot. Like this one ran hot. It got very far apart. This won't last forever. Whenever you see them go far apart like this, especially when it's over the midline, you're going to see them change tone. You're going to see them reverse. Furthermore, people often ask, how do you know when the bear market's coming or the bull market's going? That's where the high time frame is really, really, really for. Monthly charts on DAG, first of all, you didn't even have a MACD because it hasn't been around long enough. But let's go to the RSI. I bet we have some RSI. Yeah, we sure do. Similar to the MACD, it has two different points. You have overbought or oversold. Way down here would be oversold. Anything above the purple is overbought. I use stock settings. The stock settings here are 70 and 30. Okay. Anything above 70 on RSI is overbought. Anything below 30 is oversold. To get people to think about that in a better term, if you're an Amazon warehouse and you have 80,000 pallets of dog food, typically you keep 40,000 pallets of dog food. You have too much. So what are you going to do? You've overbought dog food. What are you going to do if you're Amazon? You're going to put dog food on sale and you're going to try to get rid of it. It was overbought. You're going to try to get rid of it, AKA you're going to sell. Suddenly you've sold too much dog food. Now you only have 3,000 pallets and you like to keep 40,000. So what are you going to do? Once you go oversold, you're going to look to reaccumulate and buy. On a monthly chart, DAG went super overbought. 86 right here on a monthly. It's pretty darn high. It can get as high as 95. It's about as high as I've ever seen them go. You had it happen twice, back to back. One time overbought, two times overbought. The max you'll ever see is 3 times overbought. All right. So if you see 4, that's crazy lucky. I believe Bitcoin did something similar. But either way, on the month, you see it stuck in the same range between 40 and 50, not going anywhere too fast here. In fact, you hit that 50 line almost perfectly and bounce down off of it. And that would be more crabbish or sideways, Paul Wall, or bearish than bullish. Okay. Stuck sideways doesn't really make us any money. We want to see it moving. And in order for it to move, we need upward. I don't Here's another thing, everyone. I don't see a ton more down here. Okay. It can retrace again. We can get some more drop. However, historically speaking, there's no precedent for that. All right. This is what happens typically when you see everyone saying the same thing. Oh, we're going to fall. Oh, we're going to go to the moon. I do the complete opposite. I do the polar opposite of whatever people are saying. And I'm looking instantly the other way because, let's be honest, typically most people don't care about any of this stuff. So whenever they see somebody saying a bunch of stuff, they just listen to what they say rather than look into it for themselves. On the weekly, you see that DAG almost oversold. Really, really close, but not quite. Got pretty darn close. When you see it dip down this far, look back in the history and see, has it ever done this before? No, it had never been this low before. Would this have been a good time to take a chance? Would have been better than nothing. All right. You've never had a chance to buy DAG at this point after the bull run that'll be this low unless it capitulates and falls below 40 again. And then that's going to take a lot of effort, several weeks for that to happen. I mean, at least 2 or 3 months before that thing would potentially get down as far as it has already. And I don't see that. Does that mean it's a good time to buy a node? I'm not going to tell anybody what to buy. I'm not going to tell you what to buy. It's everybody else's money. It's not my money. I don't want to tell people, oh my God, you got to go buy this. That's not kosher. That's not cool with me. I like people to do their own thing. I just give you the data. What do I see? I see a daily that's almost about to be a sell signal. Still holding trend. It has some support. Show me a little bit more here. Break that white line and we can talk. Break that big upper white line. That's a whole different ballgame. But until that happens, I have to shy away and say this is probably going to go sideways for a couple more months, at least.
Okay. Yeah. And what I found most helpful from our last lesson was not necessarily what to buy or what to sell, but when to buy and when to sell. So you might have a coin you believe in. So, like, I believe in DAG long term. So TA might not help me to know, oh, I should buy DAG or I shouldn't buy DAG, but it might show me, hey, if you want to buy DAG, buy it when it's oversold like this, and then that'll be a good time. So I found that
same thing with any
helpful.
asset. Same thing with any asset. That doesn't matter which asset it is. I don't care if it's Tesla stock or Disney stock, anything. If it goes oversold, you can look back in the history and see, has it ever done this before? It has. What has it done after? And then go, okay, there's a high probability this thing does up afterwards. You know what? I think I'll take a chance. And now you've made a more informed decision than you would have before, which is the whole purpose in technical analysis. You've made a better decision than you would have if you didn't check the charts. And that is the key to technical analysis. It's risk management. I just cut my risk dead in half by doing more than nothing.
Yeah, no, very cool. And we have some requests from the audience, so maybe we can take a few of these, and then we'll. I do want to talk a little bit about Novatech and Mizar, and just get your thoughts on them. For one question is, do you do stocks also, or do you focus mainly on crypto?
All right, so I'll chart any stock, doesn't matter. I rarely buy an option anymore because in order to buy an option and win, you're basically betting with leverage. Stocks are either 15x or 25x leverage to buy an option. Plus, you have to buy the whole option. It isn't like I can buy $20 worth. Now, there's some that are fractional, but most aren't. So if I want to buy Tesla, well, geez, I got to fork out $350 for one stock. I don't necessarily want to do that. Maybe I just wanted to buy $50 worth. All right. And you can't unless that platform allows you to. And most platforms, let's be honest, don't allow you to. So I can do stocks. I just prefer crypto because there's more money to be made. The charts move so much faster. Because they move so much faster and there's more volatility, there's more chances for me to buy and sell, get in and out faster. I do forex on the side as well. I was trading forex Friday. I haven't done any this weekend because it's closed. And then Monday, I didn't feel so well. So I said, I'm definitely not coming in here and staring at a 5-minute chart all damn day. Not going to do it. So I was like, not today. Whenever I have some extra time, which is not recently, I'll trade forex, but I really have to sit and focus on that. Where crypto, I can kind of click it and sit back and watch.
Okay, yeah, that's helpful. And then in your Discord channel, do you have a short long channel in your server?
We have a channel where we post a ton of charts and people will tell what they're doing. You can go over to the chart section, and there's a crypto chart section. We have multiple ones. We have one for stocks, forex, and crypto. You can kind of pick what you want, but people post their stuff all the time. People ask me, do I post signals? No, I do not do signals, because then everyone buys what you say. And that's the exact opposite of what I'm trying to get you to do. I'd rather you fish than me give you fish. Um, I do post what I do. My portfolio is 100% available in the Discord for any member who wants to sign up. You can see what I got or what I don't got. You can see every trade that I make, every wallet transaction that I make. I hide nothing. So I do post what I do. Yeah. We're going to be adding more to the crypto section, because what we have is a lot of people who want to look at low time frames and a lot of people who want to look at high time frames, and it tends to get a little jumbled. So we're going to section it off a little bit more to have more sections with more detailed charts where people can come and look at that.
Okay, nope, that's helpful. And then when you're talking about forex, what pairs do you like or do you commonly trade?
My favorite ones are Euro USD, or whichever way your broker does it. Mine is Euro USD, and I wish it was USD Euro, because that's what I typically pull up. So you have to switch the chart around. But Euro USD, UCAD, which is USD Canadian dollar, that's my all-time favorite. I like gold and silver, obviously. If your broker will let you do it, I like to trade the really crappy coins. What do I mean by that? Like, before they took the Russian ruble off, I was rickrolling the charts, and then my broker took it off because the Ukraine stuff happened. But man, I was killing it, and I wanted to stay in that and keep doing it, but they took it away. Great British Pound USD, that's called cable. For anybody who's been in forex for a long time, they call it old cable. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. That's just what it's called. And Euro, I already said Euro USD. USD Australian dollar, that's another pair I like. I typically only do certain pairs. Another thing you'll notice if you start forex is the spread that they set, which is kind of like the strike price in a stock. The spread that they set will be very, very high sometimes. And you're like, I don't want to buy that. I got to make half the chart up just to get into profit. You won't even do that pair. You just move on to something else. I'll see a spread like 5 or 6 pips. And to get hyper technical here for a second, a pip is a percentage in point, or point in percentage. It's very, very, very tiny movement on a chart. That's what you have to count in forex. A good trader in forex gets about 250 pips a week. And 500x leverage will make you a couple $100 a week. It's not an easy living, is it? No. Hence why I like crypto better.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. We had someone ask about StableFund. Are you familiar with that one? Do you have an opinion on StableFund? That's kind of all the rage right now. Just seeing if you have an opinion on it.
Not gonna like it.
No, I don't really have an opinion on it. People have been asking me about it left and right. I don't like 1.5% daily return. Nope. But I just wanted to hear your thoughts.
All right. Historically speaking, has 1% a day held up almost anywhere? No, it hasn't. Is it holding up in some places? Yes. How? Because they're manipulating their own supply and demand. All right. It's very, very difficult to maintain any kind of quote unquote daily percentage. 0.5% is not easy. Shall I tell you about strong block? All right. And we're talking about 1.5%. Please understand, if you're going to do something like this, get your money back before you go compounding. Oh my gosh. Scream it from the heavens. Get your money back before you compound. Why do I say that? Do you want to lose money or make money? Because if you keep compounding, you're going to lose money. I know multiple people from Strong, from Ring, from Fire, from Thor, who put tons of money in, compounded and compounded and compounded, and got little to nothing back. They were big dogs on the internet. In real life, they made no money. And how do I know this? Because they've contacted me privately to talk to me about how to make their money back. All right. And that's not to be braggadocious. It's to say that, hey, man, make your money and get your money back. Don't trust me. Don't trust your wallet. Do you want your money back or not? Right. So if you're going to do that, I'm not in StableFund and I will not be doing it. There's some other sketchy stuff like the IP rerouting, the website design. You can kind of look at a website and tell whether it was made on WordPress or a Wix website. I have a Wix website. I know this. It cost me $11 to make. I can look at a site and tell if it's a Wix website pretty darn quick. I can also look up the domain name, domain registry, IP address, and find out some stuff real quick. Kind of like I did with Juicy Fields, right? Similar situation where you can kind of pick through something and find out. Not really a fan of it.
Yeah, I'm skeptical about the 1.5% a day. I would prefer because they claim they're using trading bots, and so I would prefer to have a variable return. I'd feel better if it was like one day you got 1% and one day you got 0.2%. Then I would feel more okay. That's what a trading bot does. I run a lot of trading bots, and none of them get 1.5% every day. So I've been just skeptical about it, but it's a popular one right now. So
Yep, there's another thing I was going to bring up. There are a lot of bot scams. Essentially, what people are learning is, all right, so I said this from the jump when all these kind of scams and Ponzi's came out. The more money you give these guys, the better they get at what they're doing. All right, so whenever you have a situation like StableFund comes in and they say we have these trading bots make a ton of money, cool. Show me. Show me. What does it do? Show me the transactions. Show me the transaction list. Do you have a transaction list? Can I see that, please? It's on the blockchain, right? Everything's on the blockchain. Well, just show me. You don't want to show me. Why is that? You don't want to show me because, number one, it either doesn't exist, or number two, it's so amazingly special that NASA should be using it. So NASA's not using it. This leads me to the former, not the latter. Right? I've had experience for bots for a couple years now. You realize how difficult it is to find something that makes 1% a day? 1% a day is extremely difficult to make. You're talking about 50% more than that. Maybe it's possible. I'm not going to say no, right? I don't know everything.
yeah.
But gosh, that seems awful unrealistic to me.
Yep. And so I think I in general take more risks than you do. And how I approach something like that is, like you said, okay, I'll put in some money, make sure to get out as much as I can, as quick as I can. And then, if it keeps rolling for the next year, then hopefully I have a little still in there that I can compound that and make some off of it. But I'm with you on StableFund. I hear a lot about it. I'm just really skeptical about it, so I don't put a ton into it.
Yep, similar situation. I've learned this over the time here. Compounding is great, and I get it. The problem is, when do you stop? And it's very addictive, and you don't want to stop. So you have to have a plan before you go in. This is rule number 2 of what I do with investing. Have a plan before you buy. Have your plan and stick to your plan. If you start altering your plan, you're going to fail. Now, if it's needed alterations because things are changing, I get it. But if you're just changing because you're getting a little bit greedy, hey man, you're backsliding, just like on Better Call Saul, you're backslide Jimmy, right?
I love your analogies, and you got a lot of good ones.
Realistic, but it's real life, right?
Yep. Could we take a quick look at Quant? Would you be able to take a quick look at Quant and just your thoughts on where it's at right now?
Quant has been a front runner. Why do I say that? In position where it's at now, I'll pull up some other moving averages here. 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages. That's the yellow, blue, and red line, 50, 100, 200 moving average. You see here that this thing moved through the 100-day moving average, through the 200-day moving average after it failed for a bit. Stayed over the 21 EMA the whole time, over the 8 EMA, over and back and forth. 8 never crossed the 21. It broke the 200 and has moved farther up. In relation to other charts, this chart's done way more. The other charts haven't broken the 200-day moving average. Ethereum's just now broken the 100. XRP is stuck under the 100. FTM stuck right there at the 100, right? This one's gone far beyond that. So it's a bit of a front runner. Now, when I have a front runner, I tend not to buy it. Why? Because I'm already chasing a moving train. You ever tried to jump on a moving train before? Bad idea. So
I can't say I've tried that.
It's a bad idea. Try it at Disney World. So when I have a front runner, I like to use it as a map. All right. So if I pull a big Fibonacci retracement here on this whole thing, I see that the big massive retrace that started all the way back with everything else, all the way back in September, October, November area. This one started in September. As you see, it was a front runner. It ran up first and kind of failed first. When we have these, I like to use them as a map rather than buy them because I want to see what it does for the future of everything else. Have a whole list of these coins that I call front runners, and I'll put them all right here. They're called coins that are ahead. Right there's a whole list of them. VET, ZEAL, Dragon Chain, OMG, Matic, ADA, ZRX, KNC. This thing pulled all the way down and ran right up to the 50 fib. The 50 Fibonacci line is not a real Fibonacci line. However, it is halfway. All right. Halfway is not good enough. Halfway is a continuation. If it cannot break this halfway point, then it will fail and do more downtrend. If it can break this halfway point, which is 132, 133, if it can break that halfway point and hold it for maybe a week, then we'll see more up. It can take a chance at 174 to 259. However, you're not going to get that until it does it. It's not shown just enough yet. It's ran into resistance and it started to slow down. Looking at our indicators, we went double overbought. MACD has rolled over and looks like it's trying to play dead here. There you go. You've crossed downward and you're starting to get some divergence and your 2 red histogram shots. This thing has flipped the other way. If that's the case, you're already in it, fine. I'm not trying to buy this. It's way too far out front, in my opinion, compared to other ones. I'll use this for a map to show me what may happen with more of them. There's other ones like this as well.
Okay. No, that's super helpful because I think when our nature is when we see a chart like that, we're like, oh, it's going up, buy. But yeah, the TA, this is a good example of where TA will actually help you to, even though to your natural eye, it looks like, oh, we should buy that. When you look at the indicators, it might be late to buy right now, and you should maybe hold off on that.
In fact, if it's probably going to come back to around $105 or so. And once it comes back down to $105, that may be a different situation as far as whether we can buy or sell. As you see, the weekly chart's got an 821 upward cross. Hey, that's good. But it's retracing. So let's wait for the retrace to finish and then reassess. Rather than buying now, let's wait a couple days and see what happens.
Okay. Nope. Super helpful. We got a lot of requests from the audience. We're not going to be able to take all of these, but let's
do some rapid fire.
Let's do some rapid fire. We got Matic is the next one.
All right. Not quite as far ahead as QNT, Quant. As you see, it hasn't broken the 200. The 200 is the hardest moving average to break. This one's going to get stuck at this level short of $1. It's going to stick here short of $1 and probably drive sideways for just a bit. If it does break $1, it'll be short term. It will not be a hardcore break. This is the hardest moving average to break again. So expect this one to flutter sideways a bit. Not only that, it's at the 50 Fibonacci line. I bet you the RSI went overbought. Sure did. Now it's moving sideways and has bearish divergence, meaning it's showing downward while the chart is moving sideways. MACD is also pointing down and sideways. Again, it's going to range here between 75 cents and $1.27. At the max, $1.27. More like less than $1, more than 85 cents. Back and forth. 85 to $1, 85 to $1, back and forth.
Okay. Do you kind of see the market as a whole? It kind of seems like the market as a whole is kind of just like a little bit bearish. Is there anything that you're real buying right now that you feel real strongly about?
So I typically show everyone on my Discord what I buy, but it's been a few days now. So I bought XLM a couple on 718. All right, let me move my camera out of the way. 718, bought XLM, XRP. Hey, look, I'm down maybe 75 bucks on XRP. Solana, I've been stuck in. I can't get out of. Thanks a lot, Voyager. KNC, this one's still holding strong. I've been in this one. As you see, it's over the 100-day moving average. Ugly looking green candle. I don't like that nasty wick right there. That looks pretty ugly. I would like to see that the other way around, but it's not. So we got what we got. Either way, it's over the 50-day moving average and the 100 and the 8 and the 21. Good support. So I like this one to continue moving up toward this 200. HBAR I just bought. Similar situation where it's fighting the 200, but I've seen multiple other coins break it and go. This is why I took this one, because it's done very, very little in comparison to what Quant has done. I would rather not buy Quant and rather buy this because there's more potential gains here. I have 2 potential next stops for HBAR, which are 10 cent and 12.5 cent. The price is 7 cent. If you didn't get that drift, that's 75% gains. So I'm going to take a chance to get 75% rather than go to Quant where I might get 15 or 20%. More reward for less risk.
Okay. Then we had a question about HBAR. Do you stake it on the Strader website? Somebody just asked it.
I stake nothing. Essentially, staking is a way for the creator of the coin to control supply and demand. If I offer you a minimal gain to not sell, you have more incentive to not sell than most. So that's what they do. They offer a very minimal gain. This minimal gain makes you want to not sell. If the coin falls 32% and you earned 31%, hey, guess what? You didn't make nothing. You staked for nothing. You could have sold it and just waited and had money to spend, because maybe you could have found something else that did better somewhere else. I don't hate staking, to say that. I've staked Algorand before. It was giving me 7%. I think it was 7 or 13% during the heat, during the high bull run there. I had Algorand. I bought Algorand at 25 cents and I rode that joker all the way to $3 and something, right? So I staked it while I did that. It was a bull market. Why not? I don't mind
Yeah.
staking in a bull market, but I don't stake anything, especially right now.
And you bring up a really good point. You brought this up a couple times, but don't ever forget your opportunity cost with your capital. So especially if you have limited capital, not only are you not making any money, you might say, "Oh, I didn't make any money. That's fine," but you can't use that capital for something else that you might have made money in. So just don't forget about that. That is a loss. If you can't use your money for something else, that's actually a loss.
If you don't understand what he's saying, that's liquidity. What is liquidity? Banks in 2008 are liquidity. They didn't have any money to spend. Why? Because they blew it all. And when you have no money to spend to buy the houses that are cheap, who buys them? Nobody. So they sit there. Now you have a supply and demand problem. You have too many houses and not enough people. The housing prices plummet. The interest rates have to drop to keep up with that. And you have a recession. Welcome to
Okay.
liquidity.
Yep. Yep. And you've mentioned that several times. I think that's a really good lesson for people. Here's another one, EMP. So some would argue that you can't do TA on tomb forks. I would guess that you would argue you can. So just what's your thoughts on EMP?
You can do TA on anything that has a chart. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be weight, it can be height. Doesn't necessarily matter. Let me see if I can find it. What's the name of EMP?
I think it's just EMP.money. So
I mean, what is it called? It's like the name of it.
I think it's just called EMP. Has no name. What is
EMP
it?
money. Yeah. So this
Yeah.
is, man, I don't know. So this is versus Ethereum. So we'll have to do some conversion here, or it might already be converted for us. Either way, if we're looking at this, similar situation to H bar and FTM and XRP and other ones that are sitting right over top of the 100 moving average. You're having the moving averages pinch and all converge in one spot right here. If you haven't noticed that, this is convergence. All moving averages are pointing to the same spot. Okay, they're all pointing right here. You have 200 to 21 EMA. However, this has had a short-term uptrend. It's stuck. This one kind of looks sideways too for the next little bit here. Everything's pointing down. So you have support. Everything's pointing down. I expect it to hit support and then jog sideways. This 200-day moving average is moving down very sharply. This may not be the correct chart to look at, but this is the only one I can find right now. I can look it up more and dig in a little deeper, but sometimes I just don't know what chart to look at yet. So a lot of times they're either versus Ethereum versus FTM, and I have to do the conversion in my head. I think this is auto converted for us though, because it shows 38 cents, which I bet you is probably correct.
I think that is right. And the main reason I brought that one up is, again, people would argue you can't do TA on like a tomb fork. And I just kind of wanted to get you to say you can do it on anything.
Here's a life lesson for everyone. People are going to hate me for this, but every time you tell me I can't do something, now you're really going to get it, because not only am I going to do it, I'm going to do it beyond what I was probably going to do it before. That's just the way my life has worked. It's got me in trouble before. I get that. But as an adult, I've learned to control it. So whenever you tell me you can't do that, what do you mean I can't retire on crypto? What do you mean I can't change my career? What do you mean I can't move up in life? What do you mean I can't raise my kids? What do you mean I can't do? Don't tell me what I can't do. Don't tell me what I can't do, right? So
I tell you what, the more I have you on my channel, the more I like you. So
well,
I'm
I
gonna
like
have
you
you guys
too.
more.
I
That's awesome.
I don't have fire hair. I'm going bald, so I got a hat on.
See, so then I don't feel challenged then,
There you go.
So, could you look at BioFi? And maybe this is the last token that we'll do here before talking about a little bit about Novatech.
What's the
It's BIOFI. It's on AVAX. It's not super popular, so maybe
All
it
right.
might be harder to find.
I got you here. BioFi
I can maybe find the contract address too.
versus AVAX.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, hang on a second. I don't use Deck Screener a lot, so I got to change my settings real fast. I'll go to daily. Give this a second. This website is slow. All right. So we had a downtrend, pretty gnarly one. It has since stopped having a downtrend. All right, let's pull a fib on this. I have to adjust this too because I rarely, yeah, look how stupid that looks. I hate the background colors on Fibonacci retracement. I really do. It's just so distracting. My brain isn't strong enough to counteract the distractions. All right, take that off, move that over there. So you're over top of 0.0037, which is good. You need to maintain 0.0037. If you lose that level, then you're going to face 0030. Lose 0030, and there's no coming back because there's no support past that. If it falls past that, big ugly. From here, if we can hold 0037, you're looking at 0056 because that's the next range up. At that point, I would expect it to stop. There is resistance there. It'll slow down at best. If it can pass that, this is going to be taxing, but 0078, and that's a stretch. If you're a volume person, which I am not, this thing has incredibly low volume. That's not going to be very much use anyway because this is an extremely low cap coin. So I don't really count volume to begin with. But a lot of this stuff says no still, even though we got this short term up. I really, really needed to see it. This is tough, but I really need to see it go past 0056 before I would get excited. I know that's higher than what we are now, but there's too much risk involved otherwise. I would rather not take the risk and wait for it to play out and hit a higher level to see it actually progress, to see the volume literally double in order to get that price up there. That's a good sign, right? It does have more buys than sales. That's good, but that's only for 24 hours. Obviously, in the history of this, it's had more sales than buys. Let's see that trend reverse high time frame.
Okay. Nope, that's helpful.
Not bad though.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to know your thoughts too. So you see that huge green candle?
Mhm.
That was I made a video on it, and it's a low market cap coin. And so when I make a video on a low market cap coin, that's what we see is huge green candles like that. So how as an influencer do you think I should think about that? Or like, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on like, my ability to change charts like that and just I don't know, what do I do with that and how you think through that?
I think our ability to move anything is zero. Why do I say that? Because I go on live streams and I talk about every asset you can think of and it doesn't move. I've went on live streams and talked about strong block when it was $35. Didn't move an inch. I've talked about low cap coins that had $13,000 worth of volume. Didn't move an inch. Now, obviously, there's more people watching you. So if you say something and it's a low cap coin, more people may buy. If that's the case, why didn't this go up forever? Why didn't it just keep going up forever? Why did 2 days after you said that, it did nothing but go down for 3 months, 4 months? What this signals to me is someone before you had a bunch of tokens, waited for it to go up, and then sold and sold and sold. And as people bought, they sold more and sold more and sold more and sold more, and on and on and on and on and on until we've hit near a floor. Actually, it kind of caught support right here. You see a blob of candles like this, that's a support zone. Or if it's below that, it's a resistance zone. That's why this would be resistance and this would be resistance. That's how I can tell those key levels there. That tells me someone before you already had something ready to sell and just wanted to find the right spot.
Hmm.
And then they sold and sold and sold and sold and sold, which is what you see with almost every DeFi chart.
Yeah. No, and I think you're totally right. What I've noticed is like a video or something can, do a little pump, but ultimately it just goes back to where the chart was kind of gonna go anyway. So it's like these outliers, but then the chart kind of works itself back to where it was gonna go because a video is not sustainable. I can't do a video every day, to make that kind of pump happen. So eventually it just kind of goes back to where it was gonna go on its own.
I've seen a lot of these node charts or DeFi charts that all look the same. You see some capitulation, then a big, huge green candle, and then for the rest of this history, it does nothing. That's no different than looking at Thor here. Well, this really pisses people off when I do this.
Uh-oh.
Well, I guess got to be real though, right? Even if people hate you, you got to be real. That's the exact same thing with Thor. I mean, it's identical. It went up, and then, oh, we're going to the moon. Same little move right here at the end, like BioFi has right now, that same little move. Except BioFi's does look better, I'll admit. But yeah, Thor has done absolutely nothing. It's $1.70 and it's going nowhere fast. In my opinion, this is stick a fork in her, she's cooked. You would think people would have caught on by now. Been saying this since day 3. So I'm hoping people start to listen now and not give them any more money. That goes the same for any of them that have nodes that aren't really nodes. I don't want anybody to get scammed. I hate that. I super hate that.
You have been saying that about Thor for a long time, but people will still argue with you. Even today, they'll say, "Oh,
I get it.
Yeah.
I understand I'm not really going to change anybody's mind. I understand that. Everything I do is data based. It has nothing, no emotions involved. It's all data. So if I say it, it's because data backs it up. I won't say it if it doesn't.
Okay. Very cool. Do you want to, just for me, do you want to take a quick look at Drip and see where you think
Sure.
that's at compared to last time?
That's BNB.
Yeah.
No, BUSD.
BUSD.
Yeah, 9 million volume. All right. See, it always puts me on 15 minutes. This is powered by TradingView, but not TradingView. You know what I mean? All these are doing this. They just use their interface. All right. You've had a mountain of down, like a mountain of down. But as you can see, that down has broken. Where are we at as far as how far down? So we really need to break $11 before you're going to see anything drastic. You're running into resistance at $14. There's no resistance to stop it from going to $11. No resistance to really stop it from going to 14. 14 to 17 is going to be very tough. All this resistance, like you can draw a little box here and it makes it easier to see. But this resistance right here, all this is going to be tough to break through. It ain't going to break easy because it's literally never had to before. I'm aware of how this works. I would say get your profits. Now's not the time to compound. I think people have compounded enough. If you're at this point, this is the point where you stop and say, all right, now I can actually get some of my money back. I know it's way down and I get that. I understand. But you have no guarantee they'll ever go back up. No chart is ever guaranteed to go back up. You have 140% more sales than buys on this. And guess what? This is a bearish chart, not a bullish chart. Even this little move up right here isn't quite bullish yet. It's the same thing with Bitcoin or Ethereum. I'd say the same thing about that.
Okay. Nope. That's about what I thought you'd say. So no, no.
Well, I'm sorry to be the bearer of. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news or anything like that.
The bearer of bad news.
Just keeping it real. Just keeping it real.
Someone asked if you could do TA on Horde.
Yeah, I believe it's a stable coin though.
Yeah, I think it's more of a joke. I think.
Yeah. I mean, you can still look at the buys and sales and see that there are literally 300% more sales than buys. How long do you think that can last? How many more zombie protocols can we have? Maybe if we buy some Walking Dead plots or some Bewitched plots or Beetlejuice plots. Whenever people do this, the quick keyword search on Google tells you how they came up with it, and it immediately screams stop to me, right? It doesn't matter whether Juicy Fields as a keyword search. I looked at that and I went, man, let me think about that. Just hold on.
Same thing with Horde, Juicy Fields. We don't talk about Juicy Fields, Keith.
You said, by the way, I know you don't mind not talk about. You said last time you had someone that may be going by to look at it. Did that ever happen or anything?
I don't know. I'm still working with them. You know, I was talking to a bunch of employees, and then they all went quiet, and who knows? That's when you're dealing with people over the internet. It's just so sketchy already.
You got it. That's why I don't trust people, man.
Yep. Nope. I'm with you. Okay. Well, hey, I don't want to miss out on what are your thoughts on Novatech? Let's go ahead and talk
Okay.
about Novatech just a little bit.
All right. So just like I said about StableFund, Novatech claims to be running a bot or bots that makes you money passively. Essentially, like here's the website. I'm already logged in. There's how much I have in it. Why did I do what I did in it? All right, there you go. I'll put it back up. Why did I do what I did? Well, this is about as high risk as I want to go. All right. This is 5% of my portfolio. I'm not willing to risk any more than 5%. If I lose 5%, I'm not going to be incredibly upset about it. So 5% to you may be $200. It may be $2 million. That's on you. That's the way I like for everyone to understand this. Okay. Don't put in more than you're willing to lose. Please, please, please understand that you must get your money back. All right. I am 100% taking profits on this. Novatech claims to be having a bot running, and essentially they make you money. They make about 12 to 14% a month. That's pretty darn good. In the real world, 10% a year is hot crap. Oh man, let's go. We're talking about that per month or per month. That's a bit much. Okay. So you're right on the edge of me going, I don't know. Next, again, show me. If this is crypto, let's pull up the blockchain IDs and let's look. We can do this. It's not that complicated. Anybody can look up blockchain IDs and transactions. Let's see them. There's nothing to look up. The people who run it. Okay. I know James is a religious man too. I have my beliefs. I don't need you to tell me that you're a reverend to make me want to invest. That kind of, if you're going to tell me you're a reverend, it's because you're wanting to testify to me and I get it, but I don't need you to tell me about investments. Okay. It's offshore. I don't like that. Here's what I do like. You can take your money out day one if you'd like. Now you'll pay a 15% penalty if it's before 91 days. However, I'll tell you this, if it makes 15% in 1 month, you get your money back after 1 month because you pay a 15% penalty to get it out. So really the risk here is 5 weeks. 5 weeks. If you can get 5 weeks in and not have this website go offline and it go away, then you got your money back. So you're okay. Furthermore, 8 months ROI. And if you didn't touch anything and you only pulled money out, which is what my plan is, only pull money out here. I'm not going to compound a single dollar. I like that there's a real brokerage. What do I mean by that? If you know anything about forex, the platforms that you trade on are MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5. I prefer MetaTrader 4. It's old school, but I'm old. MetaTrader 5 is kind of cool. It's different. They have a MetaTrader 5 brokerage. You can clear. I pulled it up on my phone and found it. All right. It's clear and easy to see. Like there's no misidentifying. It's really there. Here, you know what? Let me send you a picture real quick, James. I'm gonna send it to you on Twitter.
Sure.
Stick
I
a
will
second in there.
say I was surprised to see you on Novatech because it's more my speed of things than your speed of things.
Yeah, this is the max risk I'm willing to take. In my opinion, this is on par with yield nodes. Yield nodes is also the max risk I'm willing to do. What do I mean by that? This is the most you're going to be able to say, this is the sketchiest thing I'll do. How about that? This is the sketchiest thing I'll do. I'm extremely risk adverse. Most people take more risks than me. I will take less risks than most. I like the fact that they have a brokerage. I like the fact that they have FinCEN certified ATM machines that run on Bitcoin. There you go. You can see the picture I just shared of him. It says Novatech Limited. This is the brokerage that you actually sign on with, and you can go on and trade on the platform that he had pulled up a second ago. That's legit. I can't argue that. Okay. That's not easy to get either. Neither is the FinCEN certification to have Bitcoin ATMs. That's tough. Okay. They went through it and did it. 3 years they've been running. Never missed a payment in 3 years. I like that. The website is kind of cool. It's a little slow on Fridays and Saturdays. Be ready for that. But it works. I don't like the multi-level marketing aspect of it. However, that's separate of what you make. It's like a separate part of the business, like Avon or Mary Kay. It's separate. Okay. It's not the key to the company. You don't have to buy a whole truckload of inventory like you do with Mary Kay or Avon. It's not like that. So you can always get your money back. 5 weeks really of risk. And from there, you're all right. So that's why I've already taken some money out. I tried it. It worked. I got some USDT back out. I was able to do a withdrawal and it worked. I can't argue. Okay. I put in a ticket because I screwed up the first time when I was trying to fund it. They were quick to fix it. I was super tickled about that. No time at all. They fixed it. Okay, cool. Yeah. So it's a 50-50 at best for me. And because it's 50-50, what it really comes down to is, do I have control of my money? And the answer is yes. 15% is the max risk you're going to lose there. Okay, I'm willing to take that. I could almost set a stop loss at 15% and not be too upset about it. 5% of my portfolio is all I'm willing to risk. There's the numbers. You saw what I had in it. That's my spill on it. I got a referral link if James wants to put it up right there.
Yep, I threw it
the
up.
only time I'm going to do it. I'm not making a video on this, and I'm not going to put it on my YouTube channel. I don't want everyone coming after me with pitchforks. So it's the only time I'm going to do it, right? So
yep, I think we have identical thinking on that. It's the same. I've tried to get the team on for an AMA to get like more info. They said no, we don't do AMAs, and I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. They have been around for 3 years, so it's like, okay, that's better than being around for 3 months. But I'm the same way as you. I'll put a little bit in it as a speculative, 12% a month. That's pretty good. But I think we are thinking the exact same way about that. Now, yield nodes, we don't quite think the same. But
that's fair. Everyone's got their own opinion. I'm risk adverse on yield notes, by the way. I've been in it for 9 months. I'm clear and free. I've got all my money back, right? So that's totally separate. And this is what I mean. This is the max risk I'm willing to take, right? So once I'm free and clear on my money, hey, whatever it makes me now, hey, high five. I'm cool with it.
Yep. I do believe too, I want to be fair to StableFund. I believe you can take your money out after 28 days. It's not locked like the nodes, locked your funds forever. You can never get it out. And StableFund, right, I think just does for a month. So
agreed.
So let's go ahead and talk about this Mizar one. It's kind of our last thing here, and then we'll let you go and get some rest.
All right, well, cool. Yeah. I think the fiance just pulled up too. Yeah, because the dog's whining. She'll go out if she wants to. So anyway, I think it's Mizar or Mizar. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
I'm Southern, when it's online, so I'm gonna say Mizar because we have hard vowels in the South. Either way, Mizar is just a platform that connects to your KuCoin account, and once it connects to your KuCoin account, essentially you set up a bot. The bot runs for you. It takes some money out of your USDT that you put in KuCoin and trades for you. It's really cool, actually. Yeah, there we go. The dog's gone now. So you take an API key off of your KuCoin. Anyone who has a KuCoin account can do this. You can also do it with Binance. I believe you can use crypto.com too. I'm not positive on that, but they only have so many exchanges you can use here. Either way, you take a KuCoin. I made a sub account. I have a video about this of how I did it. Make a sub account, attach your, here's exchanges. You add exchange, right? Pick which exchange. Here they are. Binance, KuCoin, FTX, Coinbase Pro. Yeah, you can do it any of these. Knock yourself out. You connect it, you fund it, you make a percentage. It's bots that really trade. Does it really show? Yes, it shows every single trade. Here's my trades that it's currently did. I'll show you them now. It just takes a second to load. The website is a little slow. Hey, guess what? I'm sorry. So here's my current open positions. It's a DCA bot, so it buys, and then if it needs to add on, it adds on. It adds on up to twice. Right here's my open positions. Here's some more. XRP is up 0.2. Oh God, they're all down, right? Incorrect. Let's look at the closed positions. I have 27 pages of these. 3%, 3%, 3%, 3%, 3%, over and over and over again. It's literally never taken a trade that it hasn't closed. It works. It works. I made it very conservative because I wanted to test it. I made very small lot sizes and very small DCA sizes. You can adjust this if you'd like. But I made 14% on a very conservative setting per month. Now, that being said, this is not a bear market strategy. This is sideways and bull market only. If you do it in a bear market, it will get stuck in trades for months. Okay? It can't control that. It's going to do better than most, but it's going to get stuck.
Yes.
So you can't expect this thing to run flawlessly and make you money when charts are down 80%. It's
Yeah.
not a futures bot. It is not going to run on futures. It could do that. They do have a futures bot. I don't run that. I've already tried that game and I've already lost at it. So I'm going to stick to spot bots only. I have other ones running, but this one I feel the most comfortable with. We've got multiple we're testing in the background and stuff. I still feel more comfortable with this one. It's been pretty rock solid. They've approached me. Should have an affiliate program going pretty soon, I think. We'll see. Either way, today I made $29. Yesterday I made 12. Day before that, 11, 5, 9, 8. You can do the weekly here and kind of look at it on the week. In the websites, let me move my camera out of the way here. Website's kind of slow. I did this a solid month and I monitored it every single day for a solid month, right? And here's the results. 349 so far. It's been a month and some change. Not bad. Not bad. Using this as passive as well. This is the original passive income, everybody. That's the way it works. I believe James has a referral link for this one too.
Yes.
There is no quote unquote minimum. And you control all your money at any time. You want to take your money out, click the button and take your money out. It's your money. Do whatever you want to with it. As you've seen, positions are down 12%. Well, how much money is it actually down? Let me pull it up and look. This is the best part. Oh my God, it's 12%. Well, look how much is. Wait till you see how much it actually is. Open positions. Yeah, so I'm down $7. Oh my God, I'm heartbroken. Right? So even if you're losing here, you're losing minimal money. So just realize that you can cut this off whenever you want to stop it. You want to add to the positions you can. You click your little edit and you can edit safety orders and add more to it if you want. You can turn this up to 10 and it'll DCA 10 times. 10 times it'll add money to it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it alone and not touch it. That's the point in it. But I like it pretty well. I like it pretty good. That's why I'm using it. This is my second time around with this company, by the way.
Okay. Do they have like a demo mode or anything like that where you can? Some of them have like a play. You can use play money to see how it'll perform. I don't know if they have offer
Okay.
anything like that.
So this is block party trading. And if you look under strategies right here, there are a few different ones, but I use the block party one. They've worked with Mizar kind of from the jump here. Block party is on 3 commas also, and 3 commas has a paper account, a fake one that you can use. And you can run this software on the paper one. But here's the one I've been using, Bot Party Plus, right? 56% in 30 days. That's because all the charts were bullish, everybody. It's not always going to be like that.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes. All right. This one doesn't have a test mode. 3 commas does. 3 commas is $30 a month. This one is 10% of profits. All right. So how do you do that? That's up here in the corner. You fund your wallet with BUSD. They take their fees out of the BUSD. So when you make money, they get a 10% cut of it. Each day or whatever. I mean, every 4 hours or whatever. I don't know what it is. They get a cut out of every time. 10%, 10%, right? So they get their money. You get the rest. And like I said, you can cut this off whenever you want. Stop it, start it, do whatever you want to with it.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, and the one caution I would give people, you already said it, but don't when everything's bullish, people look at these bots and they think, "Oh my goodness," and they'll go throw in 20K into one of these bots. But then when you have the like sharp downtrends, sometimes like you said, these bots can just get completely stuck where they're waiting for a price up here that you might not hit for the next 9 months or something like that.
You got it.
So just be cautious with these. I made the mistake of during the bull market, I threw a bunch into a bot like this, and I was like, man, I'm making 3% a day. But then we hit this sharp downtrend, and then I was just stuck down here and probably not ever going to make money on those. So
right where this is a little better, it's still not great. So don't get me wrong. You got to be careful with this. It's better than I would say last year's editions. Same thing though. This is not a bear market strategy. Don't expect to make money when it's down 80%, 60%, 30%. No, it's not going to happen. This needs to be sideways or up to make money on.
Yep, absolutely. Now, if anybody wants to get in touch too, I've been working with Shiny Jackal on Twitter, and he does some bots where he combines some short and long bots. And it's a completely different strategy. But yeah, shoot me a DM if you're interested in that. But bots are very popular right now. So
yeah, they've been around a
definitely.
long time. Like I said, 90% of the market is bots. People just don't understand that. Um, the big money has the better bots, and you're never going to get those. So unfortunately, we have to work with what we got. So
Yep, that's right. Okay, 2 more questions, then I'll let you go. I'll
okay.
let you get some rest. First off, does Keith do any crypto options trading?
I've dabbled a little bit with it. I make better money with leverage. I'd rather have a couple $100 in my leverage wallet and do it that way. I've fiddled around with it a little bit with Steven. I forget the platform I used. Steven, the calculator guy. Me and him talked about it, and I did a little bit as a test run to see what would I make better money on. I make better money on leverage trading.
Okay. And then last question. We'll end with this one. We had a couple people asking about sell. If sell is a short
We
squeeze or
really want to
exit
look at
liquidity.
Celsius token. Really want to look at it.
I
Sure.
don't, but the audience does.
All right. So what you see right here is a little bit of sleight of hand. In the midst of Celsius completely tanking and eating crap, they started to manipulate their supply and demand a bit. And what you see is a chart moving up. This is their last dish attempt to make a little bit of money back. When you're a company that holds a bunch of your own tokens and you need money, what do? You run the price up on that said token. And that's exactly what you see happening here. This thing has broken through the 200-day moving average, which I just told you earlier doesn't normally happen very easily. And it just blew right through it like it was nothing. I fully expect this to slow down. This looks like exit liquidity to me. Someone right there asked, is sell a short squeeze or exit liquidity? I don't see a short squeeze, but I do see exit liquidity 100%. I would not, feel free to do what you want. When I see a company that's falling face first into the ground because they're terrible with money, the last thing I'm going to do is buy their token because they clearly aren't any good with money. And if you're not any good with money, what are we doing? Right? Why would I invest in your company if you're terrible with money? That's just all there is to it. Same thing with Sears, Evergrande, Celsius, Voyager, which I thought were supposed to be more straight up. Yeah, they lied. And now I have funds stuck over there. So
Yeah.
I was using that because they had a deal with Chase Bank, right? So I used my business to funnel funds through Chase Bank. Ha! No, you won't.
Yeah. No, one thing I learned through all this is just how greedy everyone, like no one trades very principled. Everybody just is, gets greedy. They might start principled, but then, you start seeing returns and you're like, oh, if I did this, I could get, I could squeeze a little bit more out. And then eventually the greed just keeps taking you further and further. And again, that's one of the things I like about what you do is you stay principled and you're like, I'm not going to venture out of just these principles that I have. And I think, regardless of what your principles are, I think having those principles and just saying, I'm not going to get greedier than that, I think is healthy and is good for the space as a whole.
What you do in life, you should reflect with investing. Do you do 100 and a 55 in your car? Typically, no. Why? Because it's extremely greedy to do 155 and unsafe. Why would you do that with your assets? Why would you go buy the most exotic, horrible looking asset just because it can make you some quick money when you could buy something that was safer and take less risk and it'll still be there when you're done? All right. Same thing goes with life. You must have valued principles. One of my 4 main rules before we go: take your profits. Right? If you don't take your profits, I will take your profits for you. That sounds super mean, but that's just the way this shark pool's built, everybody.
Yep, that's awesome, man. Well, hey, I appreciate it. I always appreciate it. I'd love to have you, once a month or whatever, just to give
Yep.
these lessons, give another perspective on things. So thanks a lot for hopping on
Thank
today. I
you.
really appreciate
Just
it.
schedule it up and we'll get it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank you, audience. Please hit the like button on your way out. Do follow Keith on Twitter. He also does YouTube pretty regularly. How often do you do your YouTube sessions?
We have live streams on Tuesday night at 11 p.m., Wednesday at 2 p.m., and Thursday at 11 p.m. So it's Crypto After Dark on Tuesday and Thursday, and Crypto Before Dark on Wednesday.
Okay.
All East Coast times. TA with Keith Lay.
TA with Keith Lay. Okay, very cool. So follow him on Twitter, follow him on YouTube. I put the links to Novatech and to Mizar in the description as well. So go give him a follow. But thanks everybody and happy trading. Hope everybody has a good rest of their day.